Good morning everyone, good morning all the students. How are you all? I'm also fine. This is Prema here. This is my channel SciMa Academy, and today I'll be starting up with the science chapter. Okay, so I'll be taking up the structure of atom, which is one of the most important chapters of grade 9 chemistry. And I found that from my students and other students, I found that this chapter is a little tough for them. They are finding it a little tough to understand. So that's why I chose this chapter to explain it to you. Okay, so take your notebook and your pen, and you can pause the video in between to take up the notes, because I'll be presenting the video, I'll be explaining at the same time. Simultaneously you will be taking up the notes also. This will help you in your exam preparations, okay, as exam is nearing, and you can make notes also out of it. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe to my channel, that is SciMa Academy. I'll be coming up with more videos in front of you. So let's start with the chapter. Now Bohr solved the drawback which we saw in Rutherford's atomic model. Okay, so how Bohr gave his atomic model solving the stability problem. Okay, he solved the stability of the atom. Rutherford could not explain the stability part of the atom, right? So here how Bohr atomic model overcome those drawbacks. We will see that. It's very important and interesting topic. Okay, so please pay attention to it. So Niels Bohr, actually, he was a professor of physics, and he said that he told two things. Okay, one was about discrete orbits. So only certain special orbits known as discrete orbits, okay, where the electrons are allowed to, where electrons are revolving around the atom. So if you see here, so this is the nucleus which is having the protons. So nucleus is the part which is very small part of the atom, where the whole mass of the atom is concentrated because of the protons. Okay, because proton is only having mass. Okay, so now around it, now if you see, this is one orbit, now this is another orbit. Okay, now why this orbit? This is also called energy levels. These are also called energy levels. These are also called shells. Okay, so there are different names given to it. So electrons are actually revolving on this discrete orbit only. Okay, this is the first orbit, this is the second orbit, like that you will have third orbit also, then like that orbits will be there. So he said that only certain special orbits. Now electrons, some electrons will be present in the first orbit, some electrons will be present in the second orbit, some electrons will be present in the third orbit, and they will not move, they will not shift from that level. Okay, they will not shift from that energy level. So they will be rotating, they will be orbiting the nucleus in that orbit only. Okay, they will be revolving in that orbit only. Okay, and the second thing is, he said no energy radiation. So when they are in their discrete orbit, so if the electron is in this orbit, it's not going to lose any energy, it's not going to radiate any energy. And similarly, if the electrons are in the second shell, in the second level, there also electrons will be revolving in that shell only, but without radiating any energy. Okay, so that explains that when the electrons are moving in discrete orbits, they are not radiating any energy. That means there is no instability, there is no instability of the atom. So atom as such will remain stable. Okay, so there is no electrons radiating energy, not falling onto the nucleus. So atom as a whole is stable. Okay, that's what we need. Atom has to be stable. No one wants to be in a unstable state, right? So we need the atom also to be in a stable state. Okay, so this 2 points which were explained by Bohr, actually we till now follow that. We follow the Bohr's atomic model, which says that the electrons revolve around the nucleus in discrete orbits. Okay, so there are different shells. Now if I say here, so see here, so this is the nucleus, so around it you have electrons. So this is the K shell, first orbit will be K shell, then L shell, then you will have M shell, then you have N shell. Okay, so till N shell only you can study. So K shell is the innermost energy level which is closest to the nucleus. So this is the K shell which will be closest to the nucleus, right? This is called first energy level. Then you have L, that is second energy level. So second energy level is with little higher energy. So as you're going from, farther from the nucleus, energies also will increase. So this is with low energy, this is little higher energy. Then the third shell is M shell. Here third energy level, again little farther from the nucleus, and last is the N shell, very far from the nucleus with the highest energy shown. So low energy, little higher energy, and highest energy in the N shell. Okay, so this was the atomic model given by Bohr. So if you compare, see, this is a very good example, this is a very good picture, So here the Thomson said that, okay, in atom you have the proton, which is like, the spread part. Okay, here the protons are like the pudding and electrons are embedded in it like plum. Okay, and Rutherford said that the electrons are the positive part of the atom is very, very small, where whole mass is concentrated, which is the nucleus, and electrons are revolving around it. But Rutherford did not give any explanation about the stability of the atom, because electrons are losing energy. He did not say anything how electrons don't lose energy and what is the path electrons take to revolve around the nucleus. Okay, so the Bohr atomic model only, which we study, which we follow, okay, which says that electrons are revolving in discrete orbits, which are called energy levels, based on their energies, okay, from lower to higher energy levels. All right, if you can see here, so this is the nucleus, which is having positively charged protons and neutrons also. Neutrons were later discovered, right? So still I've not told you about neutrons. So nucleus consists of protons and neutrons, and you have the first shell, that is the K shell, electron revolving around it, and the L shell you have. Okay, after that you will have M and N shells also. So electronic configuration. Now what Bohr said, what Bohr gave a rule. He gave a rule, that is 2N² rule. Okay, this is called 2N² rule. Okay, which shows the electronic configuration. That is a rule to show how the electrons are distributed. That is distribution of electrons in discrete orbits. There is a rule which Bohr gave, and we follow that rule to write the electronic configuration, how the electrons are present in different energy levels. See, now we have elements. Okay, we have elements from 1 to 20 elements, which you have to learn, and we have to know the atomic number of that element. You must have studied in the last chapter. Why I am doing this chapter before is that this chapter you have to understand to learn the electronic configuration of the elements, and then further you will learn about the valencies. Okay, after that only if you go back to the atoms and molecules chapter, you will understand it better by writing the valencies and how to write the formulas of a compound. Okay, so here, so we will study now here the 2N² rule. How do we write the electronic configuration? Now 2N² rule here. Now K shell is what? N is equal to 1. This is the first shell. So here 2N², N means 1, N is 1, right, in the first shell. So N into 2 into 1 square will be 2. That means K shell has the maximum capacity of holding only 2 electrons. Okay, so if you see L shell, L shell is N is equal to 2. So here it will be 2N², that is 2 into 2 square will be 8. So now the maximum capacity of the L shell is to hold only 8 electrons. Okay, M shell. Now M shell is N is equal to 3, that is a third shell. Again substitute the value 2 into 3 square. You will get how much? 18 electrons. So M shell is having maximum capacity of holding how many electrons? 18 electrons. Okay, if you go for N shell, N is equal to 4, 2N², substitute the value of N, that is 4. So we will get 32 electrons. Okay, so this is the electronic distribution. Okay, electron, how they are distributed in different energy levels. So K shell has maximum capacity of holding 2 electrons, L shell has maximum capacity of holding 8 electrons, and M shell has having maximum capacity of holding 18 electrons, and N shell has 32 electrons. Okay, so that was the only thing which was given by Bohr in 2N² rule. Okay, and also there is one more, there are different rules which you have to follow. The maximum number of electrons in the outermost orbit is 8. Okay, so maximum, if the outer orbit, if K and L, there are only 2 orbits. So maximum electrons outermost orbit should have is only 8. Okay, the maximum number of electrons in the outermost orbit is 8. Regarding of the shell capacity, I will give you the electronic configuration. You will understand better. I will explain you that. And the third point he gave was electrons are not accommodated in given shell unless inner shells are completely filled. So you have to fill the K shell with 2 electrons maximum. Then only you can go to filling of the next shell. Okay, without filling the previous shell, without filling the inner shell, you cannot fill the outer shell. Okay, that is also the rule which you have to follow. Okay, so this is the main 2n square rule which you have to follow to write the electronic configuration of any element given to you. Okay.